What I'm about to say might sound like bad news, but I promise you it's actually good news. Let me explain. See, way back when I first started talking about the state of the world and kind of helping people break free of the hypnosis and live above the empire frequency, it was a much harder point to drive across because I still had to actually convince people that the state of the world was not good. I know that sounds crazy now, but back in the 20 teens, the economy was in a much better situation. It was pre-COVID, so trust in elected officials was still pretty strong. And more or less, people were just like, dude, chill. You're kind of being dramatic. Well, that's not the case anymore. And it hasn't been for enough time now that not a single person left on the earth would say, no, this is good. I'm cool with this. And I'm sure you're wondering, how is this possibly good news? How is it good news that the world has gotten to this place? I'll give you the simple answers first. Two parts. One, now we don't have to waste time talking about whether or not change needs to be made. Believe it or not, a lot of energy used to have to be wasted on just convincing people that it's actually time to make change. But we don't have to do that anymore. Instead, we can get right into the real conversation about what we need to do and how to do it. This is positive. The second part of the simple answer is that the masses don't make changes until we hit like rock bottom. Until we hit that point of enough is enough, we tend to stay stagnant. Now, we're finally reaching a place where people are actually willing to do something. Again, this is a positive. But the most important reason is a little harder to grasp. And it's the fact that reaching this point means that we are actually reaching the end of this madness. Yes, it's almost over. That may sound counterintuitive, that when it seems like it can't possibly get any crazier or scarier, that's a good sign. See, the snake hisses the loudest right before it dies. And what might feel like a final push for the darkness across the finish line to execute their evil plan of global takeover is actually the opposite. What we've actually been experiencing in these past 5 or 6 years is the last final attempt to cling onto control of a population that is rising above its grasp. There's a really important scene in the Primordial Code when Alakoa is speaking to Garrett and telling him, you are being called. You are being called into the spiritual war. The time is now. And Garrett asks, he says, with all this madness going on and the fact that I'm needed and that I'm here at this moment being called into this role, it's because we're losing, isn't it? And Alakoa, one of the most important lines of the whole story, tells him, no, it's because we're about to win. Humanity right now is on the precipice of a massive awakening, a shift in consciousness that's changing the trajectory of modern civilization. And each one of us is being called into something bigger. And if it's not clear on exactly what it is, it will be soon. It may not look like some heroic act of bravery like we see in the movies. But every single one of us, in our own individual ways, in our own individual lives, is going to be called to step in a different direction for different reasons and different purposes to create the new earth. So you better be ready.